of your live streaming destiny and sort of do-it-yourself live streaming server setups. The advantages are many. You can definitely do, you have a white label service. You have complete control over the quality and the types of streams you deliver to your viewers. You're not having to share your viewing data or your user data with anyone. You get complete control over that. You can even sell or rent out the service to others. There's just a variety of ways to use this. And this is the go-to solution for somebody who's if you're trying to do this yourself. And you're not relying on a third party like YouTube or Facebook or somebody else. And as Ryan and as you'll find out, you still get all the benefits of sort of these major level players and the infrastructure that they have. You are going to take advantage of sort of Amazon's cloud infrastructure. You'll be taking advantage of the CDN sort of penetration that Akamai has and the reliability of service across the world with their edge servers. So you get access to all the same sort of quality that any sort of professional or major organization would use or already has, and you're doing it from your own computer or from your own organization, and you have total control. So this is the way to do that, and this is how you would get started with that. So we're going to walk through a very basic tutorial on where to get started and how to get started from scratch. So Ryan, joining me to help me with this is Ryan Jespersen from Wowza Media Systems. Ryan, are you there? All right, Ryan. So we're going to do this together. I'm going to be your sort of puppet here, and you're going to tell me exactly how if I had never done this before, and actually with Wowza Streaming Cloud, I'm not sure I actually have used the cloud product, just used the streaming engine product of yours, how to do this from scratch. So are you ready?
I am.
Okay.
I'm trying to see where I can put, how do I pull the strings, Andrew?
Exactly, I know. Right hand, left hand. So you told me to go to cloud.wowza.com. So I just entered that into my URL here, cloud.wowza.com. And we are, and it's asking me if I have an email address and password. I haven't even signed up for this. So I'm actually going to click on this link below here, right? We're going to just sign up.
Exactly. So and if you start from the beginning, you can do it from here. You can also go to wowza.com, and there's a free trial button in the top corner. So really super simple.
Either way. Okay. Wowza.com, free trial, or go to cloud.wowza.com. Okay. And I'm going to enter my name here. We're going to go use my Gmail account. And let's see, I'm just going to type in a very quick password here.
Yeah, and our free trial for Wowza Streaming Cloud is 30 days, and it does limit you a little bit with the reach that you can do with a free account, but it does give you kind of most of the features that you would have in a full-on paid-for account. So it allows you to do, you'll see here, it allows you to get up and running with a live stream, gives you a certain amount of hours and delivery usage. So for getting up and running with Telestream Wirecast, extremely easy to do. So
perfect. Okay, so I understand. I asked to sign in. This should just get going here. Let's check my email. Maybe I need to refresh here. Oh, it looks like it's just loading here for a second. Hold on.
There we go.
There we go.
And when you do go to this confirmation page, and it gives you kind of a video tutorial of how to get up and running, has a link to the tutorial, or like different articles and everything on Wowza Streaming Cloud. So, and in fact, I think the demo I have here is using Wirecast. So it's
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it. Let's see here. Okay, so that's for people if you need something to refer to. They've got a great getting started video here. All right, what next, Ryan?
So next, you just need to confirm with your Gmail address.
Okay.
Go in there, and actually, you should be able to actually hit that launch button and just type in. I don't even know if you need to confirm. Cool. It's been a while since I signed up for a free trial.
All right.
Let's give it a try. You'll notice over here on the right, this is something I'll point out, is we have if you guys use Slack, we have a live streaming Slack channel that's, once again, very agnostic. We have plenty of Wirecast users on there.
Awesome.
So once you log in here for the first time, you have to accept the Streaming Cloud terms of use.
I give you my firstborn, my eternal soul, all that good stuff.
Exactly. So I now own that, Andrew.
All right. You always did, Ryan. You always did.
So here at the top, you can see you've got 30 days of trials remaining. You've got 5 transcoding hours. So that's pretty much 5 hours of live stream you're going to have.
Perfect.
So very simple here. You can kind of see from this little graphic, you can send in a stream from an encoder. Cloud magically add magic here. We do everything else and allow you to stream that to global users around the world. So just like that, you get up and running.
Boom.
So let's do it. Let's click on that add live stream right at the top.
Okay.
And this is a really easy kind of 5-step process. And if you hit the right at the top there, you have a little contextual help to the right. You can actually hide that help, and then it will kind of maybe be a little bit easier for everyone to see.
Sure.
Yep, just like that. So right there, you can just type in whatever name you want. So Andrew or Wirecast
What is
or
my live stream? The name of my live stream. So would this be one event, one single stream, most likely?
yes, exactly. So, here, if you, let's say you were doing, you have one church customer, right? You could put one church customer name here. You can put another one. You can create an unlimited amount of live channels simultaneously with this cloud service.
So this might be the channel name or the customer name or the purpose name, the event name.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
So it's totally for your reference. And this is kind of one of the most important parts is this is where you're going to choose where the Wowza server is going to be spun up. It's what we call an origin server. So this is where Wirecast pushes the stream into a physical Wowza server to be able to stream that. So you guys, I think, are on the West Coast.
Right.
So California, that would be an AWS data center. Now, I will point out, and AWS being Amazon Web Services, I will point out that when it says 4K, it can stream up to 4K content, but you don't necessarily need to stream 4K. You can do 1080p, 720p, whatever your workflow is.
Okay.
We'll show that in the next step. The
And
other
it's
thing I'll
definitely recommended you pick the origin server closest to you or closest to your customers.
Closest to you, or where the live stream is originating from.
Okay.
So if you are working with a church right now that's in, or an EDU customer that's in California, you would want to select California. Exactly.
Okay. Perfect.
Now, one thing that's important here, you'll notice some of these buttons say 24/7. People who are doing a live linear channel, so let's say a live news channel that's up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we have a special pricing plan, and those run on Google Compute Engine servers. So anything in green there is that. In the trial account, we don't have this. We also have what we call a pass-through instance that allows you to just send a stream, and we don't transcode, we just resend it on. It's good for IP cameras and things like that. But you've chosen one in California. That will allow you to transcode up to 4K content coming in. So all you need to do now is click on the next button that's right below that.
And are there destinations or sort of like origin server locations that support both 4K and 24/7 billing?
No. So if you choose a 24/7, those only support to 1080p, and they're different billing. Yeah, I think they're $500 a month for the unlimited 24/7 transcoding.
Got it.
The 4K are pay-as-you-go plans that you pretty much just pay for usage, and there are volume discounts the more you use them.
Got it. All right. So I'm just going to click next here then. So the next button right here. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. And actually, I was moving myself out of the way, but it looks like I'm out of the shot now, so we're okay. All right. So what's this page? We're setting up video source and transcoder settings.
Exactly. So here, we're in step 2 of 5. Here is where you choose where your video live stream is going to come from. So these are a lot of our Works with Wowza partners. Some of them are IP camera vendors. Some of them are actual camera vendors like JVC and Panasonic. And then we work with encoder vendors as well, including Telestream. So Telestream was actually the first one we ever added in here. That's how long our partnership goes back.
Way back.
Yeah. So really simply, you just choose Telestream Wirecast in here. And the thing to note here is you can use your own Wowza streaming engine server that's up there. So that allows you to use your own on-premises server. So I have a lot of EDU or enterprise customers that stream internal, and then they'll restream out from their local server out into the public cloud. So that's an option as well.
Awesome. Okay.
Yep. And then the aspect ratio here, you can see to the right there's that button that allows you, that kind of picture button over to the right, that allows you to select up to 4K. So here's where you select 4K. So go ahead and select 4K for me. You'll notice that it changes to 7 bitrate renditions underneath that. So what's happening is we're taking in a really high quality 4K. We have to transcode to 1080p, 720p, 480, 360, so on and so forth. If you bump that down now to 1080 or to 720, it will create 1 less rendition or 2 less renditions, right? So we adaptively change those adaptive bitrate renditions depending on what your input source is.
That's fantastic.
Yep. And then the next option here is you can record this. This records a copy in the cloud. Not a bad idea. I do always recommend recording at your Telestream level or at your mixer level when recording content. You want to have a local version, right?
Right.
But this actually records one in the cloud. But if we get garbage in, you get garbage out. So always,
Right.
with an unhealthy upload connection, that may happen. We may not get stream across.
Got it.
And then closed captioning. We got a lot of customers who use closed captioning. It's federally required for a lot of industries now to do this.
Hmm.
We fully support that for these standards as well.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yep. So you can go ahead and click on next,
All right.
and
I'll
we
click
have
on
just a
next.
couple more simple windows, and we can get this all up and going. So this is where we set up a player. So a lot of people, there's a whole workflow here. You want to be able to have a player that you can embed on your own website. We have one player that's actually an old version of JW Player, which is this original HTML5 player.
Hmm.
And then Wowza last year, we created our own player, and we did
Yeah.
it primarily to actually add it to Wowza Streaming Cloud. So
Okay.
you can go ahead and select that one.
Okay.
And that supports HLS. And we developed our own Wowza Player 2 to go back to that low latency conversation to
Hmm.
solve the low latency problems
Ah,
as well.
got
So
it.
that's a big reason we developed a player as well.
Makes sense.
Uh, Here, go ahead and select responsive. This will actually create a responsive one that will scale to the width of my window, but
Okay.
you can select what size you want.
Okay.
You can also do a countdown clock. So a lot of people don't want to live stream go live until it's actually the time of it. So a lot of people prepare ahead of time for a live
Hmm.
event.
Hmm.
This one will go ahead and say no, but here you can select it, select the time zone, and do all that.
That's fantastic. So you can even schedule your event, as exactly what time you're
Exactly.
supposed to. It's supposed to roll on, and until then, they'll just see a countdown timer
Exactly.
in the
Yep.
player window. Got it.
Exactly. And then with the poster image, this allows you to add your own branding. So going back to creating a white label solution,
Hmm.
you can add a poster image, the Wirecast, poster that we use for today's session.
And
You
just
can do
add the
that, and then
logo. Okay.
yep, and then you can also overlay a logo over the video stream as well. So
Like a
below that, you have a
watermark.
display a logo, yeah, like a
Hmm.
watermark. Exactly.
Got it.
Yep. So that allows you to do that there as well and position that within the player.
Nice. And you can choose between the corners.
Yep. Exactly.
So cool.
So, I mean, I always recommend doing it to control your brand at the Telestream Wirecast level, right? Like you have better controls in there than you can within this interface. So
Right.
I always recommend use Wirecast and use the great production tools in Wirecast to do this piece. The poster image, I do agree, having a poster image is good to have it here. But if you're going to overlay a logo, do that in Wirecast. That's always going to turn out better because it's embedded in the stream.
It's good advice.
Yep.
All
And
right.
then, yep, click on next. And
Four out
the
of five
this
here.
Yep. So this actually creates a hosted page. So going back to very novice users who maybe don't even know what an HTML page is or how to set it up,
Hmm.
they don't have their own website. This will actually create a website that's out in the cloud, and will be able to scale. So here you can actually add, just say Andrew's cool live stream or Ryan owns my soul or whatever you call it.
That's Andrew's cool live stream. I think I like that better. Let's go. Hold on. It looks like I tabbed over here. Let me go back.
Yeah. So at the bottom there, you can just hit back
Yeah.
easily. Yeah. And this allows you can also add a logo inside this hosted page,
Hmm.
and then add a description and then very simple social media sharing icons. Now, I
Okay.
will point out these social media sharing icons will share this page with different social media platforms, but it won't stream to them. You have to set that up separately, and I'll walk through that later on if time permitting.
Okay.
Yep.
Welcome. All right. And then display host. Got it. Okay.
Yep. And this is a very simple. You'll see this page when we get this up and running. So you can
Got it.
click on next. And then all we're doing here in the fifth step is
Preview.
just confirming everything. So you can just hit on finish. And what this will do is this will prepare the live stream, but it won't actually start billing me until I hit the start button.
Hmm.
So if you hit start now, what this is going to do is going to send you a confirmation window saying, are you sure you want to start this?
Okay. So start. Just click it. All
Yep,
right.
just click on that. So you can see you're going to use 0 of your 5 free hours that Wowza's given you. If you
Okay.
actually have a paid for account, this is going to say this is going to start charging you for your usage or go towards your planned usage.
Hmm.
So go ahead and click on start. And what's happening now in the background, and this usually takes a matter of seconds. So what's happening in the background is we are now telling Amazon to spin up a dedicated virtual machine for your live stream out in the cloud in their California data center.
Hmm.
And we do that all because we've integrated with their platform. So you can see that is now ready for us to send it a stream from Wirecast.
Awesome.
So before we open Wirecast, you'll see below here we have the source connection information that will allow me to copy and paste this data into
Wirecast.
Wirecast itself. Exactly.
Okay. And do you also offer the XML file download? if we wanted?
Yeah, so in Wowza Streaming Engine, we do create an XML file that you can import into Wirecast. I thought we did in Cloud too, but I don't see it in here, so it looks like we are going to have to copy paste it. I don't
Okay.
know why, because that was made it even simpler,
Yeah,
not having
totally.
to copy paste it over. Yeah, good feedback. I'll give it to the team.
No problem. I just wondered if that was available here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is then spin up Wirecast. And we will start with a very, I'm going to, again, my Mac Mini here is not the most robust machine here. So I'm probably not going to stress it too much by adding too much to source. We might just start with just the static live broadcast area screen. That should go out. So I'm going to go to the output settings and just choose RTMP server.
Or you could actually choose Wowza there as well, but it's the same difference.
Same
Yep.
difference. Okay.
So
So
Wowza
there you
Streaming
go.
Engine. Yep,
And
exactly.
there's the config file if we wanted it. And then I'm just going to jump back over and copy and paste this stuff.
Exactly. And actually, you want to do that without that IP address on the end. So go ahead and paste it, and then you can strip out the IP in parentheses.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, also annoying. They should get rid of that too.
Got it. It's also hard to do with my massive demo mouse. All right, so go here to 1935 is the port.
Oh, you can ignore the port will be fine.
Just the stream name.
Yeah, the stream name, exactly. And then you'll have to put in the username and password under the
Okay.
credentials. Exactly.
No problem. And username. It just generates an automatic. Sort of
Exactly. It
all that
generates
stuff.
an automatic username and password.
Okay. And can you refresh the password, or is it possible to reset all that?
Yes, I believe you can.
Okay.
And it looks like you have it set to 720 already,
I
so
do.
you're good on that front, and
Okay.
that's fine. Yeah.
Alright.
Yep. So if you hit OK and you hit the stream button, that is it.
I'm going to
You
save real
can,
fast. And we're going to start streaming.
there you go. So if we go back into Wowza Streaming Cloud, here within the next couple of seconds, we should see that stream coming in.
Boom.
And it'll give us a thumbnail kind of preview of what it looks like. So
Yeah.
that's not a live video feed there. That gives you a thumbnail every couple of seconds.
Got it.
But you see on the right, there's some very useful information here that tells me it's some stream health information. So it tells me how much is coming in, how much we're transcoding out, a lot of cool stuff from that perspective.
All right. I'm going to actually add, we'll try bumping this up to the next level here. We're going to try adding my camera here.
Cool.
And let's go here and scale fit. Take that live. All right, now we're up around the 70s, 80s. Okay, so this gives me the health right here on the right. I can actually monitor how things are doing here. So it says we're connected. We're streaming the inbound bit rate at kilobits per second. The outbound. Great.
And one thing really interesting here is the keyframe interval. So Wirecast actually does do keyframe aligned encoding for streaming out to Wowza. So right here, one thing we might want to configure is this is currently set to roughly 10-second GOP size. We probably want to bump that down. Yeah,
so by
8
default,
seconds.
Wirecast
Exactly.
is 240. So yeah, we could bump that down to, what would you recommend?
Yeah, usually, less than that. We don't have to do it now. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But usually I would recommend a 2-second GOP size, so about 60 or maybe 3 frames. All keyframe aligned, it just creates a better, more reliable stream through. So it's something that Wowza will ingest, and then we will actually keyframe align it on the output side.
And for those of you who are curious where to locate that, in Wirecast, I want to show you real fast, but that's just under your preset, under your encoding details. So if you view the details, you'll see what Ryan's talking about with the GOP size and the keyframe interval. So what by default Wirecast, with all of its default profiles, encoding profiles, sets that to 240 frames, and at 30 frames per second, that roughly translates to about every 8 seconds keyframe sort of cadence or pace. So if you set that to 60, then you're in line with what Ryan's recommending. And you set that to 60, and you can actually just save it and then use that when you stream to Wowza Cloud.
Exactly.
Okay, great advice.
Yeah, so that easy. So, if we go back into Wowza Streaming Cloud, yes, we've seen kind of the health information here, the monitor, but how do we see the output? So if you scroll down the page here, you'll see a few things of how you can output this. One is you have this player embed code. If you know anything about HTML, or you can just copy paste that div tag in the script and then embed it in your own site. And that allows you to use your own site, your own branding, and just have the Wowza player embedded in your site very easily, right?
Fantastic.
Another option here is right below that, there's that playback URL. This is the actual Apple HLS URL that we generate that's scaled on Akamai. So on the trial account, Akamai isn't connected. This actually plays directly off your origin server. But when you actually have a paid for account, it does scale in Akamai. That would be an Akamai URL. But this allows you to use this URL with any player that you want. So if you're currently a JW player customer or use Video.js or any of those very common players, you can use this HLS playback URL. But if that all that was gibberish to you, then just use the embedded browser player. And if you don't even know how to do the HTML, then if you scroll up, you can go to the hosted page and open that page that we had set up. That should have that stream up and running.
The hosted page, which
Yeah, over there to the right. Yep.
And you just give this URL to people to open.
Exactly. So if you open that up, that's something you can just embed, and that is scaled on Amazon. So you could get a million people hit this page, and you wouldn't have any issue with playing that back.
That's so cool.
Yep.
And I'm assuming you can do custom URLs.
So you cannot do custom URLs currently, no. So
Okay.
it would have to be this wowza.com, player.wowza.com. But yeah, you can see there's the stream, and it does. This watermark, of course, goes away when it's not a trial.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. And if you hover over again and go to HD, this is the Wowza player. Over in the right corner, if you click on that, you see here all the adaptive bitrate renditions are getting created. So we don't touch the top one. You should always encode your high quality one coming out of Wirecast the way you want it delivered to your end users.
Right.
So deliver, this is about 3 megabit video, 128 clip per second audio. That's great. Wowza just passes that through, but we then transcode all these other renditions. And what happens, you can see that you can manually switch between those, but what a good player does, it will detect the CPU and network connection on a client device and switch between those automatically. So that's really the beauty of what adaptive bitrate is and how it works. And most of you have used that. If you've ever used Netflix at home and your son is playing an Xbox game upstairs and it switches to a poor quality, then a few seconds later it switches to the good quality again.
Right.
That's ABR at work, and it's something that you definitely need in your live streaming workflow, because the alternative is buffering, which everyone hates, and you lose your user base.
Now, what is this checkbox here? Is this like a mute or not mute?
Oh, that's the
stop and play.
Yep,
got it.
Exactly.
And I was wondering about the player itself, sort of what options it has. It gives you volume control. It gives you the settings. I don't see an option for captions or anything on or off, but that's probably because we didn't actually say that we're anywhere included. Would that pop up?
Yeah, true. And the Wowza player, we still don't have captions embedded. It's in our roadmap. If you use the other player that comes as an option, you do have captions enabled there.
Got it.
The other thing to point out is, with Wowza, we do have the technology that permits live stream pause, live stream rewind, that kind of functionality. And our Wowza player supports that as well. However, we don't have that working in cloud yet. We're working with Akamai to get that working, but it does work with Wowza's streaming engine if you run your own server.
Got it. Let's see. This is very, very cool. So you've made it as easy as possible. It's got all the word marks. You got the custom page. You've got a player that works on all devices.
Exactly. Yep.
This is easy, Ryan. This is so cool.
Yeah, and if using a live stream or a Ustream, it's a very similar workflow. It's a cloud-based working infrastructure. The thing that really differentiates this, is the fact that, first of all, it is white labeled completely. Even our player is white labeled. If you go to that advanced section, this is what sets Wowza apart. Is up there at the top where it says advanced, you can actually do some extremely advanced configuration. If you click on transcoders as an example, this allows you to completely configure your transcoder that's running on that dedicated Wowza machine. So over there to the left, click on that transcoders.
Add transcoder?
No, right there where it's running. Yeah, click on
right here.
Yeah, where it says Andrew's live stream. Yep. Click on that. This allows you to now configure all of your different outputs and targets. So if you scroll down, you see all the outputs there. There's that 720p, 480, so on and so forth. What this also allows you to do, you see, this is currently being delivered straight from the server because it's a trial account. But when you have a paid for account, this will be pushing automatically into the Akamai CDN, which is the Wowza CDN that runs as part of this network. What you can then do is that 720p feed that you see right there, you could then simultaneously push that to all those social media platforms. Push it to Facebook Live, push it to YouTube Live, Periscope, wherever you want, to your own CDN. That kind of functionality and control over all of these settings is what makes Wowza kind of a professional live streaming platform.
Yeah, absolutely. And complete, down to the nuts and bolts, exactly what you want and where you want it to go.
Yeah, if you want it easy and you don't know, you can do it easy. If you want to come here and do some very advanced configuration, you can as well.
I think you've struck a nice balance too. Like you've sort of you get through the basics very easily, and then of course there's all this additional stuff that if you start digging in, you've got way more control over things like that. And I'm sure you could teach a master class on the rest of this stuff as well.
Yeah, and a good point too is over there, if you hover over your email in the top right corner and click on that drop down, there's API access. So this is when you start getting into if you want to develop your own platform that sits on top of Wowza Streaming Cloud. So here you get everyone gets a free API key. You just have to request it and you get it. It's completely public and open. You know, what is this? And a lot of people, once again, their eyes might be glazing over, but all a REST API is a way using HTTP commands, you can very easily design and develop your own streaming platform that sits on top of the core functionality. As an example, this entire interface that we've walked through today in Wowza Streaming Cloud is built on top of our own REST API. So if you want to build your own white labeled streaming solution. I'll use as an example. You guys know churchstreaming.tv. They're a very great Wirecast partner, and they're a great Wowza partner too. They've developed their entire platform built on Wowza technology using our APIs. You could create something extremely similar. The Cube as well, that does a lot of high school and amateur sports streaming. They've built an entire solution built on top of our API. So that's the kind of functionality that Wowza Streaming Cloud and also Wowza Streaming Engine provides with these developer APIs.
Wow, that's so cool. So, yeah, and I love that you actually built your own sort of web interface. That makes perfect sense. You did all that on your own as well. So everything you're looking at here is built with the very API that you're recommending right now.
Exactly, and our core at Wowza is always to be the heart and the heartbeat of the streaming industry. So every tool that we develop, or every product that we develop, is with that in mind. With other people can develop and create solutions built on top of our core technology,
and which they are doing every day, and to a lot of just all over the place. And just I think it's always astonishing, and I keep learning like, oh, that's running on Wowza, that's running on Wowza too, that's running on Wowza. So Ryan, this has been a pleasure. I hope everyone that this was really helpful. If you have any other questions, we can stick around a little bit, but for right now we're going to close out the learning session. That's basically how you get started with Wowza Streaming Engine, Wowza Streaming Cloud, and using running on Amazon or on and did you mention some of them are Google as well? Or is it all Amazon based?
We run on Amazon and Google, and then we are hoping to add, we are already partners with Microsoft Azure and with Alibaba, which is a big cloud vendor out of China that's expanding globally as well. So our idea and our hope is to have a completely agnostic, just like with all those encoders and players, and same with our cloud vendors. We want to be able to have a multi-vendor approach with this entire platform. So currently you can choose between Amazon and Google instances, and it's transparent to the end user, but we're hoping to add Microsoft Azure and Alibaba in the future too.
And you can see how quickly, just by clicking a button, the Wowza Streaming Cloud sort of interface just spun up an Amazon, S3 instance for tools. So you'll be able to do that with all those other platforms as well eventually. That's really cool. I mean, it makes it look seamless here. So really easy to use. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully you should get started. You've got no excuse. You've got 5 hours of free streaming that Wowza is letting you try out, and you could scale and become your own globally dominant media brand within just a few clicks. So Ryan, thanks so much for showing us and walking us through that, and I hope that was helpful for you guys.
Absolutely, Andrew, and thanks so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to work with Telestream. You guys are a great partner. And if anyone has any questions, Ryan@wowza.com. Super easy. Just shoot me an email. I'm happy to help.
All right. Well, if there's anything else that we might, if you have a second, Ryan, I just want to see if there's any last minute questions before we sign off. But pretty much closes this on-demand learning session. So we will cut the video at this point, and anything beyond this point, we're just going to just leave off for just the live questions here.